Hello, people of the internet. My name is Eric Miller, and welcome to the Century Academy Teachers Lounge, where I and my brother Cademan talk about stuff, play games, and use AI and have AI roast us sometimes. Batteries not included. Today we are talking about Percy Jackson, because I was just telling Cademan about how I watched more Percy Jackson, and Cademan recently did a review, and you can watch it if we add it up in the corner later on the first episode of season 2 of Percy Jackson. And recently, I think they just finished, like as we're recording this, I think they just finished all of season 2 is available to watch. So I guess it's a good time to talk about Percy Jackson.
Yeah. So, we're doing it again. It's the question episode all over again. Because last week we did a
Yeah.
question episode. So it's basically the same thing. Yeah, Percy Jackson. So I started watching it. I did a review of the first episode, and kind of what my end conclusion is
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like I'm kind of just too old for Percy Jackson. Um,
Oh, yeah.
like it's because I think like the issues I have with it, which are quite a bit. I have quite a bit of issues with it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the issues I have are like a younger audience might not be so worried about. Um,
Yeah.
so like part of me is like, can I should I actually critique it because like I don't know, it might just not be for me, right? Which, that's really not too different than like any TV show. Um,
Yeah.
is like if you don't like a TV show, well, it's not for you. You don't have to watch it, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but
That
yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
uh there's like a lot in um in the Percy Jackson show that I'm just like, particularly, I think, like I watched through season 1 and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
notice it as much, but watching the
Yeah.
first episode of season 2 and then starting the second episode and then just never having the interest to finish that second episode, like I'm like it's very like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's very
Oh, yeah.
like, it's a little bit High School Musical, right? Like it feels very Disney Channel Percy Jackson, what you would think Disney Channel Percy Jackson might be. Um
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
yeah. So that I don't know, that's kind of what my overall take has been is I'm like, I can kind of see how this could be fun for a younger audience, but like
Mm-hmm.
me like there's just not a lot of appeal, and you can watch my review and hear me complain about the mist and um
Yeah.
like all of this sort of things I don't like. But yeah, that's just my overall take is I'm like, this is a show for junior high young teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even reaching into uh young adulthood. But like at this point, I'm like just too old and grumpy for it. So,
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a really fair take because like the books were originally written as like middle grade stories.
mm,
And I think even when I was like reading through them, or I guess I technically listened to them, but
hmm
I kind of like I was able to kind of go with it, but sometimes I was like, this is kind of juvenile, you know?
mm, yeah,
But there's also like a lot of things where I'm like, why is this in here where it's like this doesn't seem like it really fits in like a book for this audience, but I'm like, I don't know.
mm. What's an
um
example of that?
yeah, so actually one thing that so I had like I think I told you this before, but I had just like watched the rest of the season one because I've only seen part
Mhm,
of it, and I watched the first episode of season two, so I'm where you are now. One thing that I think I'm glad that they changed in the show, but
mhm.
in the book was different is, there's an after credit scene, in the last episode of season 1 where, Gabe, which was, Sally's, Percy Jackson's mom's boyfriend,
Okay.
at the beginning, he finds this the box because it gets mailed back to Percy with, Medusa's head in it, and then he turns to stone because he opens it and
Mm,
sees it. Um, but in the books, what happens is it doesn't, like, explain all the details, but, uh, we're led to believe that Percy Jackson's mom, uh, uses Medusa's head to turn him to stone and then sells the statue of him to get money, and then they move away,
it's pretty dark.
and it's like, that's kinda
And
dark.
I
Yeah,
remember,
like
like, the, uh it's I was talking before we started recording about the mythology guy,
Uh-huh,
whose videos I watch occasionally. He's called the mythology guy.
yeah.
I'm not just referring to some mythology guy. Um,
Yeah, just some
but
mythology
anyway,
guy.
all of my Percy Jackson knowledge comes from him because I've never read the books. I watched
Yeah,
the first Percy Jackson movie a long time ago. I do not remember if I've
okay,
watched the second one. I don't think I have.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, he talks about like the book makes it very clear that that character is like a really bad guy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true as well. Um, in the book, he is a lot more, like, abusive and stuff. So I kind of think that that might be part of it is in the show, they made him a little bit less horrible and then
right.
had it so that he accidentally turns himself to stone instead of it being like Sally maliciously turns him to
Yeah.
stone and then sells his body pretty much to make money so that they can
Yeah. Well,
use like it
I don't
it's
know.
just such a, like
It's really dark no matter how you sort of flip it though, where
yeah, I
it's
mean,
like,
that's why when I read that in the book, I was like, "What?" That's, like, why I was saying is, like, that seems like a weird thing to put in there. I think
yeah.
part of it, my assumption is that it's because, like, Rick Riordan, the author, was kind of just leaning more into, like, the Greek mythology side of things, and so that was just kind of, like it seemed like it made sense in, like, a Greek mythology thing, like, something that might happen,
Mm,
but without really considering, like, the fact that that's, like, a little bit unethical
right.
or, like, kind of, because there are other times where he kind of seems to do that, where it's like, "That's a little bit questionable, but okay."
Yeah. Um, yeah. I feel like I remember this also in like the first movie. It's like
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's an after the credits scene in there as well, where he like opens
Oh,
up the
yeah.
fridge and then Medusa's head is in there, which like I always assumed the implication
Yeah.
was like Percy actively like put it in there so that like it would turn him to stone. But it's
Yeah, I
just
think I don't I might be wrong, and so, the
mhm.
Percy Jackson people in
The
the
Percy
comments can
Jackson
correct me,
boys.
and yeah, the Percy Jackson boys in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I
if I
bet
remember right, in the
it's gonna be
books, it was
Percy Jackson
Sally who
girls. That's just my guess, because I feel like there's more Percy Jackson
actually,
girls than boys.
funny thing is that in, like, I think Percy Jackson is definitely targeted by to boys,
Mhm.
or targeted at boys, I mean, but I know more people in real life who are girls who like Percy Jackson than guys, so I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I bet
Yeah.
they're gonna be
Like, I never
Percy
really thought
Jackson
about it
girls.
until you said that. So,
Though
Percy Jackson girls in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong.
saying Percy Jackson girls is just feels a little odd though. Um,
Yeah, that's
it
true.
feels like
Um,
saying Bond girls, like as in James Bond, where it's like because like
yeah.
every movie James Bond has a different or multiple girlfriends, because it's James Bond.
Yeah, because
Anyway,
James Bond. Yeah, No, but I think if I remember right in the books, it Sally Jackson, intentionally freezes him, and it's
Mm,
like and I know that she does at least, even if it maybe was an accident in the, um, books, she at least does sell his statue and make money from it, and it, allows Percy and her to afford a better life or something like that, so
yeah,
it didn't say that in season 2, and I kind of wondered if it would, and I'm kind of glad they cut it out because 'cause I'm just like, "Okay." Uh, and I think it works well, honestly, as just, like, an end of season 1 where it's just,
yeah.
like, doesn't
I
really matter, where it's just, like, he opens the box and
I
stuff, so
sort of
I'm really glad
wonder
they changed it.
if part of that
Mhm.
is just the influence of Disney. Um, because like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things in Disney Plus Doctor Who, um, where uh they had to change the way one of the scenes was shot so it didn't look like the companion was dead, right? Where it's
Oh.
she falls over and she's unconscious, but I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly what it
Disney
is,
Uh-huh.
but um a lot of the speculation is that a lot of these darker elements that were present in the show, Disney was like, no, you can't do that. And I sort of
Yeah.
wonder if that's the case with Percy Jackson
It
as
could be.
well. Um,
It definitely could be.
which
I kind of like, my assumption when I saw that was kind of just that, like, it's they kind of realized that was a little bit morbid, and so they
mm,
decided to change it for the show.
yeah, well,
Because
I think that's an
I don't know.
example of that's probably a good change because
Yeah.
murder is not
Yeah. Which, like, it's almost like dressed up murder in a way where it's like, because it's not like an actual, like, she, like, stabs him or something, but, like, it's still, like, I don't know. I wonder, like, if a kid were to read it, like, how they would perceive that, and, like, because like, the way that I immediately perceived it was like, "Oh, that's, like, a horrible thing to, like, do." Like,
right.
I get
Well,
that he was, like, bad and stuff, but still.
that's why I thought watching the movie the first time. I don't remember how I
Yeah.
felt when I watched in the TV show. I may not have even watched the after the credits scene. Um,
Okay, yeah.
but uh yeah, but I do kind of feel like there might be examples of things that were in the book that were really cool.
Mhm.
Um that sort of had to get taken out. I know
Yeah.
there's a character. Again, this is from the mythology
Mhm.
guy because everything I know about Percy Jackson comes from
Yeah.
watching his videos.
Okay.
But there was a character who was a character from mythology. But he had, I want to say, a mattress shop that he would
Oh, yeah.
murder people in. Um,
Mhm.
and he just was nowhere to be found in the show. So,
Wait, but he was in this show.
was he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
because didn't
not as
he?
much in the books, but, like, he was there very briefly
Okay.
because Percy visited him and then, made him fall into one of his own bed traps,
Oh
and then they went
yeah.
because that was when before they
It was
went to under the underworld to go
right.
find Hades.
Yeah. Anyway,
It might just be that it
what?
was more brief
Yeah,
in the thing than it
what I
was in the books.
remember is that the mythology guy was very disappointed in that story and he thought it didn't work. I
Mhm.
don't remember the details of why. Um
Yeah.
but you can check out his video. Um but it'd be I came here because Cademan David of the Eccentric Academy told me to. And he's gonna be like, who?
Yeah.
Um but nonetheless, like because you can tell great stories where it's the serial killer is the bad guy or whatever. But I also
Mhm.
think that's something that probably Disney doesn't want. And like,
Yeah.
that's sort of my issue with part of at least part of my issue with the Percy Jackson show is it's just so squeaky clean. Um
Mm.
and it's
Yeah.
you know,
I can get
like
that.
um I was like I said, it feels very Tom Holland Spider-Man. Same issue with Tom Holland
Yeah.
Spider-Man. He's so squeaky clean, right? And
Like,
they
it's not there's not as much darkness or anything
right.
really, or, like especially with, like, and, like, that example of, like, Spider-Man, like,
Mhm.
Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man is very, like, uh, I guess, kind of just, like, a little bit, like, just goody two-shoes, kind of, like,
Right. Yeah, like
never
the
angry
vanilla
really, or,
Spider-Man.
like
The vanilla
yeah,
flavor of
like
Spider-Man.
yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Like, and that's kind of been my main problem with, Tom Holland Spider-Man as well, from what I've seen of him so far, which I've only seen, the first,
Mm.
Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man: Homecoming, uh, and I guess his appearances in the other movies before,
Oop,
his second one.
disappeared for a second.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that, that was weird.
Um,
I don't know what
it's
caused
okay.
that,
It's okay. You're
but
back.
yeah.
Don't worry, Eric. You left and now you're back. Um,
I'm alive.
but
Yeah.
yeah, very much the same thing with Doctor Who is because I know you haven't seen a lot of Disney Plus Doctor Who, but like from the
Yeah,
one or two
from
episodes you
what I've
have
seen.
seen, right? Like it
Yeah,
is much more vanilla than like anything with the 10th Doctor or even the 11th Doctor. Um,
yeah.
Especially it's much more vanilla than anything with the Ninth Doctor, because like
Yeah, definitely.
they
Like
let the Ninth Doctor
yeah,
be real mean sometimes.
yeah,
It's very I like it.
Mr.
I like the
Protective
Ninth
and stuff
Doctor a
is
lot, but
very
the he
he is
was
kind of
very
mean.
mean, um,
Yeah,
which I think is good. I think it's a good staple of the character that he's kind of mean sometimes. And then
yeah,
as a viewer,
and it
kids
makes
watch
sense,
it
like
and they're like, "He's
mhm,
being kind of mean. He shouldn't be like that." And then you can be
yeah.
like, "Good job, kid.
I
I
think
agree with you." But sometimes people are mean.
Kidman
Mhm,
I think that's, actually part of it is that, like, there's a huge, like, idea that I disagree with that seems to be kind of a more modern idea when it comes
mhm.
to movies and stuff. I just disappeared again,
It
I think.
happens.
Yeah, I don't know why
It
it keeps
might it
happening.
might just be
Uh,
like a slight internet issue. I don't know.
Probably. That's my guess. But anyways, what I was saying is I think it's seems to be like a kind of thing in Hollywood with just movies now where it's like, especially for kids movies where it's like portrayal equals glorification, where it's like just portraying
Mm,
something bad is like glorifying it.
right. Yeah.
And a great example of this, have you seen the Netflix Avatar, the live action one?
Mm,
Like The Last
I've not.
Airbender?
I've not.
Okay, so, um,
Maybe I should.
I haven't
Maybe I
seen much of
should
it.
watch that. Do reaction. That'd probably get a lot of
You
views.
you could, yeah.
I also don't want
Um,
to, but anyway.
yeah. The thing is, like, in that they made it so that Sokka, because one of the biggest thing with Sokka's character arc is that at
Mhm.
the beginning of the show, he's, like, kind of sexist, and
For
it's, like, a
sure.
huge character arc for him. They removed that from the Netflix version,
What?
and it's funny because yeah, but it's funny because it ends up becoming more sexist because then his relationship with, that girl, don't remember her name, but she shows
Mm.
up at the place where they're, like the old Avatar place where they go
Right,
to see
right.
the
Like
statue of the
his
old Avatar.
girlfriend.
Yeah, but at first in the animated one, like, she has to show him that, like, guys aren't necessarily always tougher than girls and whatnot,
Mm.
that whole thing. But in the Netflix one, she's just madly in love with him, and that's her whole personality, and it's
Uh,
like, what are they thinking? Like, that's even more sexist than the original. Like,
yeah. No, I
it's
I feel
it's a
like
really, like
that
I don't know.
that storyline was actually like pretty good. Because
Yeah,
she has that line at the end where she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a warrior, but I'm also a girl." Right? Where it's because like, Sokka's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I treated you like a girl, and I should have treated you like a warrior." And she's like, "Well, I'm both." right? And,
Yeah.
like, that's the message that's a good message that, like, we want to give
Mhm.
little girls, right? We wanna tell them that they can be warriors and women too. They don't have to pick one or
Yeah.
the other, which, like, in
It's
all of modern society, it's like, "Oh, it's bad to be a woman that, like, you know, is, like acts like historically how a woman acts." And it's like it's just weird.
yeah.
Um,
It is weird. It's the thing to me though that always, like, gets me is, like, the intent behind it is kind of to make it so that Sokka isn't as bad because he's one of the main characters, and you can't have main characters doing bad stuff, otherwise that
mhm,
means that it's good or something.
right,
Um, but the entire episode just becomes way more problematic because instead that storyline just becomes a love story where, you have whoever that girl was just being super in love with him for whatever reason, and it's like, "Oh, well, now it's just weird because now, like, message are you sending now? Like,
right.
what is this about even? I don't know."
Yeah,
Which honestly, that leads to a lot of storytelling problems in general because main characters are supposed to do bad things. Because if you have an actual, like, dynamic character, like,
mhm.
they're gonna have to, like, have a character arc where they change over time, and you can't really have that if they're always perfect or, like, never can do anything wrong.
Yeah. I'm like, think about, um,
Mhm.
Eccleston in the episode Dalek,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, they let him get, like, real dark in that episode, like, they wrote it that way.
Yeah.
And that's a really good
And that's a great
episode
episode.
where it's
That's
like
one of my favorite episodes
yeah,
of
like,
the,
part of
Christopher Eccleston era.
for sure, for sure. But part of, um, the, like, sort of theme of the episode is, like, the Doctor sort of learning to be better, right? Um,
Yeah.
and, like, I don't know, that's a good story. Um, but then with, like, oh, what's his name? Nakuti Gatwa? Um,
Yeah.
I think he
Nikudi. I think
pronounces
Gatwa,
it,
though.
Shooty. Anyway, um,
Oh,
but him, like, they sort of tried to do that in one of his episodes called the Interstellar Song Contest, and it's like, it just doesn't work because they haven't like, they want do the character work to, like, get him to that point, you know? Where it's like
yeah.
Eccleston, we from the beginning, we know that, like, there's sort of, like, this sort of dark under the surface, um, that we should be afraid of. And then, like, uh, Tennant as well, right? Like, all throughout his
Yeah.
episodes, occasionally he does something really dark, but they've done the character work to set it up. And then,
Whereas where it kinda makes sense for the
yeah.
character.
And then with, Matt, uh, it's a little less, but there is still that element
Yeah.
where it's like, he can be scary when he needs to be. Um, but yeah, I think I don't know, because like that's the one moment where like they let the Doctor be like sort of morally questionable in his era.
Mhm.
Um, and like I can't quite put my finger on entirely why it didn't work. I think mostly why it didn't work is because they didn't give him any sort of arc, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, I've seen every uh Nakuti or Shooty Gatwa, every episode of Disney Plus Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I still have no idea what his character is, right? Like,
Yeah.
beyond
I
just like
that
shades
makes
of
sense.
other doctors that like I can see within him when I sort of like squint to focus. right.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I'm like, I have no idea who he is, you know? Like, he's very,
Yeah, that
like,
makes sense.
flamboyant, you know, but that's not a character, that's
Yeah.
just, you
A
know,
personality trait or
yeah, that's just, like, sort of a how you
like an
present yourself,
add-on fun, yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, um, it's like the in the second Lego movie where,
Mhm.
uh the evil queen is like, "Oh, do you like spaceships?" And then the spaceship guy's like, "That's my one defining character trait." Right? Like, that's like
Yeah,
that character is like, that he's an astronaut that likes spaceships. That's not a character. That's just sort of a aesthetic for a character. Um
yeah.
So, and I would argue that that character has more character than Ncuti Gatwes, because like I don't know why. Was it the 15th Doctor? I don't know why he's sad when
Uh-huh.
he's sad. I don't know why he's angry when he's angry. I don't know, like, there's no sort of pattern to the decisions he makes.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
there's patterns to how he talks, but so
yeah,
anyway.
and I think, like, in comparison to other doctors, like, I think that you can kind of understand, like, I guess, why Christopher Eccleston's doctor's kind of mean is because like, he's kind of distant distancing himself from humanity for a while before that
Mhm.
point.
Right.
If you're thinking of it, like, I guess, not necessarily in the context of the show, but we know before that he was, like, in the war,
Mhm.
which is explained I guess that is explained in the show, but it's just not really, like, necessarily shown.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess, like, you kind of have that where it's like he's just kinda mean because like, his people just died pretty much.
Mhm.
I don't
Right.
know on the timeline, like, how long it is before the 1st season that the Time War happened, but
Well, I
I
think
yeah,
technically it has to be pretty close
okay.
because in, um, I think The Day of the Doctor is what it's called, but that was when you had Matt Smith, David Tennant,
Oh, you had, like, the
and the
3.
War Doctor. Do you know
Yeah.
the War Doctor at all?
I know that he's in the Day of the Doctor, but I haven't seen the Day of the
Okay,
Doctor
yeah,
yet.
so but he's, like, the doctor that was alive during the Time War. So
Yeah,
he's, like,
during the war, yeah.
retconned in between number 8 and number 9. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, so that episode, like, his timeline, takes place during the Time War. At the end of that episode, you see him start to regenerate into Christopher Eccleston with a amazing line where he's
Oh,
like,
okay.
"I hope the ears aren't as weird," um, which is very funny. Um, but anyway,
Yeah,
and then in Rose, you know that it's shortly after he regenerates because, like, he looks in the mirror and he's, like, commenting on his new appearance. Unless, like,
that's right.
he was alive for a while as the Ninth Doctor and just, like, never saw his reflection.
Just
Um,
never yeah. That that's interesting. I'd have to watch Rose again knowing that.
yeah.
I think I think that would kind of make sense though, because he's kind of like his whole character arc in that 1st, season of Doctor Who is kind of him realize like, I guess getting more connected with humanity
Mhm.
after, basically losing all his people and stuff, but
Yeah.
my point is that, like, that's kind of, like you can kind of understand why he does what he does because of that, and I think that's kind of shown, especially even in the episode that we were talking about, Dalek, where it's, like, it's very well explained why he's upset with the Dalek,
Right.
where it's not like he's upset for no reason, where
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, like,
And
these are the creatures that killed his people, like, it makes sense."
I think that's my big issue with, like, the Interstellar song contest thing, is because,
Uh-huh.
like, his anger is out of nowhere, and then, like, they try and say, "Oh, well, this, sort of, like, terrorist, um, like, tried to kill a bunch of people, and it made him think of the Time Lords." But also, the Time Lords being dead doesn't hold any weight anymore because they've been dead and alive, like, 3 times, 3 or 4 times now. Um,
Yeah, like, by the
but
point that, Nikuti Gatwa comes in, this I think that's definitely, like, because don't they come back in, I wanna say later, David Tennant, or maybe it's in Matt
yeah,
Smith.
so they try to come back in The End of Time, which is David Tennant's last episode. Um,
Okay,
and David Tennant's like,
that's what
"No,
I was.
that's bad because Time Lords are, you know, became bad by the time,
Yeah.
like, they died." Um, and then in The Day of the Doctor, uh, like, the 3 doctors, like, actively bring them back, um, which doesn't make sense with The End
Huh.
of Time. Maybe there's something I'm missing that, like, kind of explained it and made it work, I don't know.
Yeah.
But and then, they were back, but they were lost for a while. This is in the Peter Capaldi era. They were, like, lost, and then, like, there was an episode where he, like, kind of tries to find them, he finds them, and then, 13th Doctor, the Master, goes crazy and kills them. So now they're all dead again.
Oh,
But
well, that's
speaking of Time Lords all being dead, we're about to
uh-huh.
be dead because it's time for the end of this episode. Don't worry,
Okay.
we aren't gonna be dead because we're gonna come back through like a painting or something. I don't remember how it worked in Doctor Who. Uh,
Well,
but
maybe we'll just regenerate. I think that's an
yeah.
easier
Ooh,
route to
who
go
would we
than
regenerate into? That's a video idea that we don't have time for.
Brandon Sanderson.
Dude, Brandon Sanderson and Dan Wells of the Intentionally Blank podcast. Um,
That's not what I was thinking, but I remember, like, at one point I had a conversation with you, like, forever ago,
okay.
and, you I was talking about, like, what if, like, celebrities are actually, like, the future version of us or something like that, and
Uh,
I was like, "I wonder who I'd be," and you said Brandon Sanderson.
that kind of makes sense. All right. Bye bye, everybody. In
Yeah.
the words of Christopher
Goodbye,
Eccleston,
audience.
have a fantastic life. Boy! Don't regenerate into Brandon Sanderson.